Welcome to another edition of For the Health of It. I'm your host, Corian K-Pad Padgett, and today I have with me Milan Ristic. Milan, if you don't mind, go ahead and introduce yourself for us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Milan Ristic. I come from Serbia, moved to the United States in 2010 as a student athlete at University of North Carolina, Asheville. A few years after that, I continued my education at University of California at Berkeley. I graduated from there in 2014, started some volunteer work as a coach, turned professional, and started chasing my dream of running at the Olympic Games. During that time, I'm also married to my wife Meredith. She is a wife I met at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. We've been together for almost 10 years now, but married for almost 8. We got married in college. My biggest sport, and we're in my dream chasing thing that I'm doing right now. After all that, I kept doing some volunteer work as a coach and networked a lot and worked with a lot of good coaches, and currently I am at the University of Georgia helping the track team here.
Good deal. So you mentioned a couple things there I want to unpack. First and foremost, man, education is always important. So what did you get your degree in at UC Berkeley?
I got my degree in social welfare, social work. So that was something I was interested in at the time. I was also interested in psychology and health and wellness. That's what I was studying at North Carolina. Mm-hmm. But as I was transferring, there was a little issues, with the transferring credits and all that. And so I kind of shifted my career, which it's not really shifted. It's kind of the same, but there's no health and wellness. It's more psychology part of the job.
Okay.
Social welfare.
Okay, good deal. So you said you came over from Serbia back in 2010, Coach, and you are a track and field athlete. What athlete are you? Are you a sprinter, distance runner, thrower?
Mm-hmm. So I came in originally as a sprinter.
Okay.
Because I just had some hamstring issues when I was hurdling at a young age, and we just focused on sprinting. I was not that great coming out of high school, to be honest. I was not even to be a competitor at NCAA level, let alone conference and NCAA level. Mm-hmm. I came in as a 10.81 guy and 21.89 in the 200, and then first year of college, I started hurtling, getting back into hurtling, and then after that, it was just all a dream.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you mentioned those times, Coach. At UNC Asheville, what level of collegiate athletics is that? Is that D1, D2?
So UNC Asheville is in Division I, Big South Conference.
Okay.
To be honest with you, in track and field, some events are very good and some events are not so good. So it's one of those conferences where you can have a dominance in one event and not in the other, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's definitely not SEC, or Big 12, Pac-12, but it's a decent conference, and I did my time there and then just looked for another challenge.
Okay. And you transferred over to UC Berkeley, or you went to UC Berkeley.
Yes.
Was this still during your undergrad?
Yes, so I had 1 year of eligibility left, and at that point, to be honest with you, I was looking just to get a good education and pursue my athletic career.
Okay.
And that was the very last email I sent when I got my release. I said, hey, you know what, Berkeley, there's no way I can get in there, but let me just try.
Right.
And I got a call immediately from a coach there, Mike Gibson, at that time. And he said, what do we need to get you here in August? I didn't answer my phone. I just walked out and got that voicemail, which I still have, which is pretty cool to listen every now and then. I went to visit there and a few other schools and decided to go to Cal.
Okay, that's what's up, man. If you don't mind, can we talk about the culture shock, Coach? You went from Serbia to the southern part of the United States. Carolina's kind of southern, kind of East Coast. And then from southern East Coast out to California. Talk to me a little bit, Coach, about that culture change going from the southern part of the states and then over to California, and now you're back in the southern part. So I'm tending to think you kind of like the southern part of the U.S.
Yeah, so my wife is from North Carolina, born and raised, and we really love the nature on this side of the country. Love the Blue Ridge Parkway, and it's where we live. We literally lived on the Blue Ridge Parkway when we lived in Nashville up until last year. So it was definitely a big change, but we also like the beach, and Berkeley is in the Bay Town.
Right.
It's a nice little area. It has a lot of outdoorsy things to do over there, so we really enjoyed our time there. The things that are the most different were the cost of living, definitely. California is just outrageous. Nashville is a very touristy town, so it's getting pretty bad there too. It was bad at the time when we were leaving to go to California, but that was a big difference for us. And coaching change was, I still have a very good relationship with both coaches. My current coach is coach from UNC Asheville, Joel Williams. Okay. I still work with that coach, and I had some personal reasons to leave UNC Asheville, so there was no hard feelings. It was just personal on my side, and I just wanted to, pursue more competitive career in athletics and academics. So that was the reason why I left. And when I graduated, I moved to Florida for a year to work with Coach Bruce Johnson. And then after that, I went back to my old collegiate coach, Joel Williams, at UNC Asheville, up until last year when we moved to Georgia.
Okay. So how did you end up at Georgia?
When I was transferring, one of the coaches here was recruiting me to go to University of Purdue in Indiana. I went there to visit, and it was neck to neck, or head to head, however you want to say it,
right.
With California. The only issue I had with that was one of the years that I had European Championships, and I had to take some summer school classes, which when I'm in Europe, it's a lot of different. There's time zone difference. Right. It's difficult to manage, so that was a downside of not going to Purdue. But I had to decide either this, and I stayed in a very good relationship with the coach who recruited me there, and so we'll look for another jobs, new challenges. Trying to advance professionally, and I got in touch with the coaches here, and I asked them, hey, do you guys have anything? Can I join your staff? Because my wife got a job at University of Georgia first.
Okay.
And that's what we were looking, I know coach at Florida State, I know coach, for example, at Clemson, no matter where, but we looked at the universities where I knew some coaches, and we were looking, okay, let's apply for these jobs, and then wherever you feel like you can advance the most professionally, and just in life, become better at anything you do. I will ask those coaches if I can join the staff. So that's how I got the gig at Georgia, which I really like and I'm really enjoying here.
Oh, that's what's up, Coach. That's pretty good. My next question for you, Coach, is how long you've been at Georgia? Just a little bit over a year, or not even a year yet?
Not even a year yet. I joined here in September. Okay. So when we started training, that's when I joined here, and up until now, yes.
Okay. All right. So, let me go from your previous stop to here at Georgia. What would you say the level of competition is?
Oh, it's very tough. This is a national level of competition here. You can see that sometimes it doesn't really matter how good your team is at SEC championships, but you can win nationals, if that makes sense.
Yes.
We were very good coming indoor. We had a lot of people. For example, in our multi-events, we had guys 1, 2, and 3 in the nation coming into nationals. So that's a lot of points, just from those guys. Plus, we have another athletes qualifying in different events. So we were very, very good coming into indoors. It was just unfortunate chain of events that happened, and we couldn't compete. But it's a very competitive, definitely high level of competition. Definitely high level.
Okay, Coach. So if you don't mind, does Matt Bowling goes to your school, correct?
Yes.
All right. How is it working with him?
So the lady that I work with, her name is Coach Althea Thomas. She is basically my supervisor and my mentor here with Coach Petros Kiprianou and all the other coaches. Really, I look forward to meeting them every day and learning from them every day.
Good deal.
So we work with Matt Boiling in different events. As you know, Coach Petros works with him with his jumping,
right.
And then Coach Latia and the staff, the sprint coaching staff works with Matt on his sprints. So it's you get all these athletes that are very good at things, and some athletes I'm not talking about here, I'm talking in general, they're not so good at things, and you have to teach them this, you got to teach them that. I really enjoy sharing my expertise as a student athlete and as a professional athlete, for them to learn, okay, your degree is very important, you need to listen to your coaches, you need to follow all these rules. So really, I can't pull one athlete out of the group and say, we do this with this athlete. We coach athletes, we don't coach the events, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does.
So that's, you have to be individualized with people, and sometimes it's challenging, but when they do it right and they do it good, there's a big feeling of being successful on their side. You can see them, they're happy when they have a good workout, and it makes me happy to be there for that. It's a very satisfying feeling, let's say, put it that way.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, we all know what's going on with the world today with the COVID-19 situation. As we know right now, NCAA has suspended your season. Do you know if the seniors, or actually anybody in this, from freshmen to seniors, even if they're a red shirt or whatnot, eligibility-wise, will they have another year of eligibility? Do you know anything about that?
So there is still some talk about that. From my understanding, we had particularly one girl. She won 800-meter SEC championships. Trains with our group, the sprinters group. So she was supposed to graduate and use all of her eligibility this year, but she's coming back next year to get her graduate degree, and she'll run another year. So there will be another year of eligibility for those student athletes. Yes, we have some people that are graduating, and they will be moving on. We have some graduate transfers who finished their bachelor, but because of this whole thing happening right now, they're coming in with another year of eligibility, so they'll be pursuing their master's year.
Oh, that's good.
So it's really good on that part, but it's really cool that they did this. And this unfortunate time, but something good to come out of it,
Yes. Just because the kid I'm working with is a minor and his situation is very personal, I can't, divulge his name and whatnot. But he received a blessing during this situation, man, where he was kind of struggling with the state test to get out of high school, but passed all his classes and all that, had pretty good grades, but just was struggling with a certain state test. The state actually suspended the state test, so you don't have to pass the state test to get your high school diploma. So he's actually, gonna be able to walk away with this. So, like you said, man, it's a horrible situation to be in, society-wise, but there are some silver linings and some blessings that are being passed on. So I like that you brought that up, Coach.
Definitely.
My next question for you, Coach, is you work with the sprinters, correct? But your specialty is hurdles.
Yes.
All right. What was your best time in the hurdles?
My personal best is 13:37. While I'm running, there's always room for improvement, but right now that is my best time. Okay.
All right. Did you ever run the 400 hurdles?
I have not, but I have a huge respect for that event. I just don't have what it takes for that. Let's put it that way.
I understand, man. Being at a high school, and being at the high school I'm at, in the area I'm at, we get a lot of kids that never touch the hurdles until they get to high school. And also, we got a lot of kids that, speed-wise, they just can't be a flat-out sprinter. So, but they got enough speed to do, like you were in your situation, to be a hurdler. So I got two new guys that never ran track, and I put them on the hurdles. One of them's actually better at the 300 hurdles than they are at the 100 hurdles, and the other guy is vice versa. He's better at the 100 than or the 110s, I should say, than 300. So, chat me up a little bit, Coach, if you can, about the difference between those two. You said you don't have what it takes, or you didn't have what it takes to run the 400 hurdles. Can you chat me up about the difference in the race between the 400 hurdles and the 110s?
Yes, so obviously both races have 10 hurdles. One is a shorter distance, there's a straightaway, 110 meters. One is 400. Training those athletes is basically in my personal opinion, and this is my statement, is you train those athletes as pure sprinters.
Okay.
Because hurdling is sprinting. You know, you're going to run the fastest hurdle time if you disrupt your sprinting technique the least.
Right.
So, with that being said, train those guys as sprinters, because they are sprinters, and then it's more about the specialty of the event. Obviously you have to work more with the speed endurance and special endurance for the 400, which you also got to work for 110s as well.
Right.
But you don't have to have that workload in for that particular event. So me, when I was an athlete, I'm still, trying to run and train and compete, I was always good to run a 300, even 300 dash. I never ran 300 hurdle, but 300 dash was significantly different than my 400 dash.
Right.
There was a big difference. I could never close up and no matter how good I trained, even for the 400, I could not run a 400. That's just not what type of athlete I am. Some people are born or started at a different age, they're just better fit for 400 hurdles than 110s. Again, there's some combinations of those two that are some athletes that are running both very good, but if you want to be successful in one thing, you really have to pick one event to pursue if you really want to be successful at a high level. I don't know, there's other coaches that think you can be successful at both. Yes, you can, but at one point you have to merge into one and just focus on one thing.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate your insight on that. So are the hurdles your favorite event?
To be honest with you, yes, but it's really a big fight with a pole vault and 400 dash. I love those events. I never picked a pole, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I didn't even know. I have no knowledge of pole vault, which I am trying to learn. I know stuff from what I'm reading, but I don't have any practical knowledge. So I never coached. I never done anything with pole vault, which I would like to learn a little more about. 400, obviously, one of the best events to watch. One of the most exciting events to watch.
Very true. Very true.
100, 200. I love the 200. I was decent at it, but never good enough because I was focused on hurdles. Probably. Usually, you see a 110 hurdler that's very good at 200. Those two events are basically the same training. You use the same training for those events. So usually, a 110 hurdle would be good at 200. But yeah, I don't know if I can pick. I can pick 400 hurdles, pole vault, 110s, 200, anything really. Anything that's less than 5K, I'll say.
That's a good one. I understand that, Coach. That was a good one. I like that one.
And no disrespect to this.
No disrespect to him at all. No disrespect to him at all.
Everybody has its own preference, and my preference is to watch something very quickly, and I'm not because I'm an impatient person.
Right.
I can't sit there and watch something for 30 minutes. I'm ADD, something's got to happen fast for me in order to have my attention, or it has to be happening fast in increments. I can't just be sitting and watching a marathon. That's not just what I enjoy.
I understand that completely, Coach. I definitely watch the highlights of the marathons in the 5Ks. I do not sit there and watch the whole event. So what do you think about the throwing events? The shot put, the javelin, the weight, the distance?
I love the throwing events. I forgot to tell that one of my favorite events is javelin throw.
Okay.
When I was growing up, we always tried everything so that they can pull you aside, be like, okay, you're good at this or you're good at that, so you can focus on one thing. I even ran some cross country meets throughout elementary school up to 8th grade, so it's you never know what you're going to be good at if you don't try it. So I tried all those events across the board, but then I was sticking out in the hurdles, so that's why I pursued my career in the hurdling. Okay. I love the throwing events. I love to watch those. They're very cool. those are some amazing athletes there too. So it's very cool to watch them just explode out there on the field. You know, I love the jumping, also everything about track is amazing. That's just, I don't know, I really enjoy the sport. I love it.
Right. One thing I do like about the track and field, coach, is it's like the most pure out of all sports. Like it's straight up. Are you faster? Can you jump higher? Can you throw farther? You know, that's what I like about track and field. It is like the most pure form of athleticism that there is. That's why I really appreciate track and field. I do like soaking up the knowledge of it. If I can, coach, I want to ask you. You said you tried out for the Olympics, or did you ever officially run in the Olympics?
Yes, I ran at 2016 Rio Olympic Games, representing Serbia. Yeah, so my dream came true. I was fortunate enough to put the work in and have the support of the people around me to make it there. Right. Which without those two things, I wouldn't have been able to. So thanks to all the guys if they're listening or will listen later. Thanks for everybody who was there for me at that time, and still is.
Yeah, hey, that's very a very esteemed accomplishment, coach. I really, shout out to you for doing that, no matter what country you're representing. So, but because you representing Serbia,
yes,
at that time, but you were living in the U.S., correct?
Yes.
Did you train here in the U.S. or did you go back to Serbia and train?
I did train here. I trained here with my old coach, Joe Williams. We were based in Nashville, so I was training in Nashville.
Okay.
At the time. A year prior to that, I worked with Coach Bruce Johnson in Florida. Then I moved to Asheville in December of 2015 to continue my training for 2016 Olympic Games.
All right. So let me ask you this: How did you try out, I guess, for the Serbia national team?
So all my family's still there. I'm the only one here. My side of the family, at least. On my wife's side of the family is here, which is my family now.
Right.
So I always wanted to run at the Olympic Games. I knew what it would take and how much hard work and support. So it was, I had to hit the time, which was 13:49, I believe, or 48.
Mm-hmm.
So because we don't have many people that run the standard, all we have to do is to run qualifying time.
Right.
So in certain events, like shot put, we would have the trials because we had 3 guys throwing that.
Right.
So the people or more guys. So in certain events, we would have the trials for. But as a national championships and in some events, all you have to do is just to hit the time, and you're automatically qualified. Which I was fortunate enough not to have the trials and qualified that way.
Oh, that's cool. But again, that's no knock at you or anything, coach. Because just to be a part of the Olympic team is still something prestigious. So I don't care how you get on the team. If they would have drew your name out of a hat, you still on the Olympic team as long as you go out there and show what you're worth. So congratulations again on that.
Thank you. And you also, even if you're in a standard and you were out of top 40 people in the world, you would have made it. So top 40 people in the world essentially make it.
See, there you go.
That's one of the things that says, okay, yeah, you made it, but you made it if you made it with the time that you qualifies with those top 40,
Right. So, coach, if you can, let's talk about your thoughts. You being a former Olympian, let's talk on your thoughts on the Olympics being moved to next year.
It was, I don't even want to use the word devastating, but helps first,
Mm-hmm.
Put that first, and I definitely see why they did it, and I respect that decision. If I was in any way in charge of making that decision, I would have done the same thing. You can't have athletes exposed to something like this, especially at that high level, having so many thousands and thousands of people and their families exposed to something that's deadly. I definitely see and respect their decision, and it was probably the smartest thing to do it at the time, and they did it. I wouldn't even say early enough. They could have made that decision way earlier, but now we know, okay, it's next year. It's already set the date. We're hoping for the best. So hopefully they'll, hold the dates that they said they would. there's still some talking about if they don't hold it next year, it'll be canceled completely because of the sponsors and all that type of deal. So I really hope for all the athletes that are pushing for it, stay focused on the bigger picture and bring your puzzle pieces together to put that picture together, because it will happen for you. Work hard enough, it'll count.
Yes. I understand that, Coach. I got a couple more questions before I get you up out of here. One, what was it like being in the Olympic Village?
It was awesome. I've done quite a bit podcast lately, and everybody asked about that question. I just say the same answer, man. It's unbelievable walking through the village and seeing all these people in different uniforms. I tell the same story again. I saw this one guy on the bus to the track,
right?
And I looked at his credential, and it said some country I'd never heard of. I forgot what it was, but when I got back, I didn't have my phone with me to look it up. So when I got back to the village, I looked it up. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. There were some islands above Australia I've never heard of.
Oh, wow.
But that person, you see something like that, the people you meet, amazing. It's just amazing to see everything, and the culture, the diversity. It was cool.
Okay, that's pretty dope, Coach. Now, my one of my trademark questions I like to ask on my show for the health of it is, why do you do what you do? I was introduced to this question by my principal, Bobby D. Brown, at Jim Hill High School in Jackson, Mississippi. He asked, or he presented us with a video by a guy named Michael Jr., who asked the question. Okay, I know. So I'm me. You're you. I know what you do now. You're a coach. You're a former professional athlete. Now my question is, why do you do what you do?
Well, to this point, I want to share my experiences and I will put it this way. I can't even say that I have any expertise as a coach, because I'm so young in this business that I'm still considered a young coach, I would say. So I like to share my experience and my expertise that I have learned so far to the younger people, and talk to them and teach them the right ways to get out of the business of college. When they graduate, that degree is very important. What they need to do for their rehab. I like to help people, and this definitely is giving you that opportunity to do so. Be a teacher, be a coach. Be a role model for them, because they look up to you sometimes. They say, okay, this guy is right here. Sometimes being a professional athlete doesn't mean you're going to be a good coach, but I'm doing everything I can to be that good person that they look up to. I'm doing it because I love this sport, and I want to teach younger people how to do it correctly and don't make some mistakes maybe I made. If I ever made a mistake, I can't talk about what I did or what I haven't done, but I just would like to put them on the straight path for success.
Yes, I definitely understand that, Coach. That was a very good response. One thing I do got to say, you do have experience. You've been all around the world. That's obvious from just a couple of minutes talking to you, and you do have an experience to share with people, and I'm sure your athletes appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate it. So don't sell yourself short. You are very knowledgeable in this sport and in this business. So I do appreciate you coming on with me, and thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And before we get you out of here, Coach, if you could please, if you have any social media accounts or anything of that nature where our listeners can reach out to you, if you want to drop that right now.
So they can search my first and last name. It would be MilanRistic110. Those are my usernames to all my social media. I believe they can just really search for my first and last name, and I will pop up, and they can shoot me a message, and then we'll go from there on. If they have any questions about anything.
Okay. All right. Hey, this has been another episode of For the Health of It, and I'm your host, Corian Padgett, and thank you again, Coach, for being on with us.
Thank you for having me.